Hey guys, Grifton here, and today I want to talk about avoidance tanking. So I've actually made a video about this already back before TBC even came out, but I want to do an updated one now that we have a buff tab instead of the upgrades to guarantee that I'm hitting my avoidance cap, things like that. So I just want to kind of reiterate, and I've been playing with the gear a lot to figure out like places where I can use other things, and I wanted to go over that with you guys so that you have a good idea of what you can do or what you need to do. I also want to answer some frequently answered questions, or frequently asked questions, sorry, about avoidance tanking. So let's just get those out of the way. The first one is, can you avoidance tank in TBC Classic? Yes, you can. Reaching full avoidance can be done, but it requires very specific gear, which is why I'm doing this whole video. So the next question is, at what phase of TBC can you reach the avoidance cap? Well, phase 5. Now, you can get a lot of the needed gear now, but there are just a few pieces that are crucial to achieve this cap and don't come out until then. Now, I know some people are going to say they're able to get full avoidance now in 70 upgrades build, but the reality is they're using almost impossible to obtain gear stacked with agility, and even if they did build out the set, it would likely have very low threat. What I'm trying to build is something that's kind of realistic. You can get these pieces and you can probably do some decent threat with them. But threat will be a concern, and we'll talk about that later. Will avoidance tanking be the new tanking meta? No, absolutely not. No. First off, this style of tanking only works on melee bosses. Secondly, this doesn't work at all in Sunwell Plateau. So this would only be used for more of a fun thing you do with your friends when you're doing like an old content raid and you're like, hey, I want to try out this set. This isn't something I would rely on. It would be more as a fun thing. Just keep that in mind. Very meme specky, but still a lot of fun. Okay, next question is, can I now solo heroics with this gear? Not really, no. So the avoidance cap isn't achieved alone. It requires specific buffs and debuffs, and you can't get those without an enhancement shaman and a hunter and possibly another druid. So make friends, because you're going to need them. Next question is, can I get any of the avoidance pieces now? Yes, I actually have quite a few already obtained for my set, and if you really want to do this, I would start as soon as possible. Final question is, what is the avoidance cap? 101.2 or 101.2%. Now, I made a whole video discussing this, so check that out, but it's not 102.4, it's definitely 101.2. Okay, so now that we have all those questions answered, if you do again have any other questions, hit me up in the comments. I'll try to respond as soon as I can. But let's get into the gear, because that's kind of like the whole thing. So first, here is my basic set. Now, is this the only way to get avoidance cap? Absolutely not. There are many ways to do this. I have been playing around with it. I kind of chose these pieces more because I already have a bunch of them, as opposed to the best in slot, and I'll go through all that in a second. But I want to show you what the avoidance cap looks like. So right now I'm sitting at 72.79%. That is not the number you're looking at, really. I mean, you really want to look at 71.59, or just remember that you need 6.2% over how do I explain this? Over the avoidance. So it's easier just to look at boss avoidance. When you hover over this, it says 71.59. Let me go into bear form. Now that's going to change that to 75.5 now. And we're also going to do the buffs. I'm going to go over the buffs really quick. So it's Blessing of Kings, Grace of Air Totem, Mark of the Wild, Scroll of Agility, Elixir of Major Agility, and Grilled Mudfish. You are also going to need Scorpion Sting from your Hunter. And I do want to point out that this Grace of Air and this Mark of the Wild are not your basic vanilla ones. They are the Enhancing Totems one and the Improved Mark of the Wild one, and you are going to need both. I tried doing this without Improved Mark of the Wild, and it became very difficult to do. I think it's doable. I wasn't able to actually achieve the full 95%. I was like right at 94.8, but I might have just missed something. I just recommend getting Improved Mark of the Wild or bringing someone that has it, obviously. But those shouldn't be a problem. If you're really doing this, you really want to build yourself around a good team. An enhancement shaman in your group and a resto druid are really good combinations for that. Okay, so let's jump back to it and let's talk about some gear. So we turn the buffs on, and now it says 96.24. If we hover over it, it says 95.04. Now that is the achieved goal for boss avoidance, is 95%. The other 5% is being made up by Scorpion Sting, a debuff that a hunter will put on the boss to reduce this number down to 95%, giving you full avoidance. If you don't want to remember all that, just remember it's 101.2, and 96.24 plus 5% is 101.2. But either way, 95%. That's how I've been doing it. Okay, so let's get into the choices I made. I'm actually going to start over here because these are the easiest choices to make. Some of these get a little bit hairy. So Idol of the White Stag, doesn't really matter. You can use any of yours. It was like the first one at the top that I selected. I know Idol of Terror is the big one. You don't need it. You do not need this up in order to achieve avoidance tanking. If you don't know, your Mango ability has a chance to grant 65 agility for 10 seconds. You don't need it. So I just put Idol of the White Stag just because it'll increase your attack power, hopefully increasing your threat. So Moreau's Lucky Pocket Watch and Shadow Moon Insignia are pretty much the go-to ones. There aren't that many choices. In fact, the next one down is Guardian's Alchemist, which is I have Scarab of Displacement, which is actually decent, but it doesn't compare to the other two. So I would definitely try to grab these two, and they are both available as of Phase 3. So if you're in Phase 3 and you want them, grab them. The next two are actually easy to get to, and they are the best in slot, which is great. The Delicate Eternium Ring is number 1. It's just pretty much exactly what you expect, agility and dodge. Now this one, the Amber Band of Eluding, is just a green. Now there are alternatives. I'm going to show you. I'm going to click on the random suffixes because that's kind of where these come. I bought mine for I think 20 gold on the auction house, but there's also the Arcane Loop of Eluding, which is the exact same thing. So if you're looking for either of them, just put in of Eluding and either one of these will work. They're literally identical. Just grab the cheaper one. But the World Drop one I found to be, I don't know if this one actually is this, but yeah, this one can show up in the auction house, but this one does show up on the auction house. I think I have like 3 of them. I'm literally holding onto them until Phase 3, and I'm just going to jack the price up. I don't know if they will skyrocket, but I'm hoping they do. Okay, but these 2 rings should be really easy to gettable, and they're achievable right now. Okay, so the next thing, and we're kind of getting into the question mark stuff, is the Edgewalker Long Boots. Now, there is a better version. The reason I chose Edgies is because I already have them. The better one, let me turn the suffixes off, sorry. The better one is actually Shadow Masters. So if you compare them, it's literally 1 agility. You're getting more hit from the Edgewalkers, but as far as the dodge, they are the exact same stuff, except 1 agility more for Shadow Masters. So if you're ever looking for a place to shave a point here or there, or not shave a point, but like you can't get this piece of gear. Now Shadow Masters is available in P3, so you could grab this now. It's on my list of items I want, but I already have Edgewalkers, which is why it's on the list. But that would be a quick upgrade for you. Literally 1 agility though, that's the painful part. Okay. Leggings of the Immortal Beast. This is pretty much a requirement. There is really nothing like around here, and the reason is because it has 3 gem sockets. So it's got the 46 agility plus 3 more. Now I do a purple in here because I need to hit my set bonus, but I mean even with the purple you're talking I think 25 on top of the 46. This is over 70 agility. There just isn't anything that can really... This is probably the closest, which is 65 agility. They're pretty much like you need these, but they don't come until Sunwell Plateau, so there's really not much you can do about it now. I think the thing you can get best right now actually might be Skulker's Greaves, because it has the 3 gem slots, excuse me, and you'd be doing the blue at the bottom anyway to get a little bit of extra dodge, but you are losing still a good chunk of agility just off the base. It's 14 agility less. So it's not going to be enough to put you over it, especially if you're using some of the other blue items that I'm using. But yeah, get the Leggings of the Immortal Beast. Okay, the Belt of Deep Shadow. Okay, this is where we're starting to get into some questionable choices. So I have Belt of Deep Shadow because it's got those 2 gem sockets. However, this might be a good place to pick up Thunderheart Waistguard. I'll be talking about the Thunderheart set at the end when I get to the bracers. But if you're looking for a place to swap in, this has 40 agility plus a red socket, so you're talking about 50 agility. This one has 32 plus 2, so that's 52 agility. You're probably only going to go in for the 3 agility, let's be honest. So 52, so it's 2 agility more. That's not that much. So if you're looking to get in some Thunderheart pieces, this might be the spot to go. I already have Bolt of D Shadow, so that's what I'll be using. Shadow Gauntlets of Paroxysm. So these are pretty much the ones you're going to need. The alternative would be the Dexterous Manipulation. It's got 35 plus 2 gems, so you're losing 6 you're losing at least 6 agility. You probably won't be going for the 3 agility. In case you're curious why I'm choosing the gems I am trying to get the bare minimum in order to proc the meta gem here. I did do a build that didn't worry about the meta gem, and it's not better. So it's better to get the meta gem. I only need a couple blues, so I picked the blues in the places that give me 4 agility over 3 agility. I think that's the smart way to go. Just in case you're wondering why I'm picking the gems I am. Okay, so let's go back to the comparison. 35, 41, that's 6. It's a pretty, I know 6 doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're riding as close to the edge as I am, this might be a deal breaker. However, there is a way that you can make Gloves of Dexterous Manipulation work for this set. So if you already have them, don't just toss them because you're like, oh, I'm going to get the Shadow Gauntlets of Paroxysm. Hold on to these because some other set changes might allow you to do something better. Okay. We're going to jump over the Quad Deathblow X44 goggles that I have the helm turned off because I think it actually looks kind of stupid. But okay. This is pretty much, you have to have this. Will require engineering to get, because it's a buy none pickup. I think you can drop engineering after you have it though. So no, it does require it. 350. You got to hold on to it. Be an engineer. You should anyway. It's probably the best class. Sorry, the best profession for tanking. But 61 agility is just hard to beat. The next one down, Mask of the Fury Hunter, is 50. That's 11 agility just through pure stat. And then if you've got the Deathblow X11, that's 48. So I mean, the Mask of the Fury Hunter is a little jump up from the X11, but the Deathblow X44 is a huge jump when it comes to agi. So you're pretty much going to need this. Okay. Necklace of the Deep. This is actually the best in slot. So I've got this built out to use agility and dodge as factors and defense. But if you notice, the Necklace of the Deep is way down here behind all these. The reason is because though these might have better default stats, the one thing that they're all missing all the way till you get down to here are gem sockets. Those 2 gem sockets make this thing the best neck for avoidance tanking. It's actually a really good tank neck in general. If you're not wearing the PvP neck, this might be a good choice to just pick up now. It's just a jewel crafting item. You can get it done. But yeah, it's really good. 2 gem slots. Okay, so Thunderheart Pauldrons. This is where I told you could go with the Thunderheart Waist, and this is the same thing. Thunderheart Pauldrons are optional. You can choose a different item, and that is the Demon Tooth shoulder pads. Sorry. I'm gonna tell you, I don't hate the look of the pauldrons, but if you're really into looking cool, the Demon Tooth shoulder pads just look cooler. I'll show you really quick. They kind of fit the whole look, in my opinion, of a badass dodge tank. But do what you can. Now the reason I chose the shoulders is because the 2 set bonus, but I'll get into that at the end. But yeah, so if you're gonna get the shoulders, I would recommend getting the Thunderheart Pauldrons, but if you can get the Demon Tooth shoulder pads, it will open you up for some more options, so grab that if you can. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and regem these with my agi. Okay, next is Cloak of Enduring Swiftness. This is already available in the game. I already have it. It can be solo farmed as a bear, and it's not the best, but it's pretty close. So the best you can probably get is Phoenix Wing Cloak, which actually drops from Alar in TK. If you can get your hands on this, you can. We haven't seen this drop yet. This, I can farm it all day until it drops, because it's just Swamp Lord Muscleck. He's the second boss in the Underbog, and you can stealth all the way to him and just solo him. He's a little tricky, but it's been done. I think I have a video beating him. But yeah, I would definitely recommend grabbing this bad boy now if you can. Just because if you never get the Phoenix Wing Cloak, this will work, trust me. I know you see Slick's Cloak of Placation in the middle here. Decent cloak. I'll definitely be grabbing this for my tanking set. It's only 35 badges, but it's technically a downgrade to Cloak of Enduring Swiftness. So if you have this and that's all you have, it'll probably work in a pinch. You might be able to move some stuff around, but you really want to get either this one or this one. Okay. Another questionable choice, I have the Hawkeye Monk's Tunic here. So this isn't the best in slot. I already have this, which is why it's here, and I wanted to see if I can make it work. The best in slot is actually the Harness of Carnal Instinct. Now the reason these are both good is pretty obvious. They both have 3 gem slots. Now the Harness of Carnal Instinct has more pure agility. It's got 20 more agility. But the Hawkeye Monk's Tunic has a dodge rating of 24. They almost balance out. Now the Harness of Carnal Instinct, I believe, is slightly better, but only slightly. So I definitely recommend grabbing both. That's kind of like my go-to. But if you don't already have the Auchenai Monk's Tunic, it's pretty easy to farm. But yeah, if not, you're going to be grabbing the Harness of Carnal Instinct, which I think is going to be contested pretty hard. So if you can get your hands on it, great. If not, in the meantime, get the Auchenai Monk's Tunic. Okay. Thunderheart Wrist Guards. Man, I keep scrolling down. I apologize. Thunderheart Wrist Guards. So these are kind of tied for first place. The Guardian's leather bracers are on the same page. They both have 28 agility and 1 gem socket, so they're pretty much going to balance each other out. The reason I do the Thunderheart Wrist Guards, though, is because of the Thunderheart set. Now, I've kind of skipped over this, so I'm going to kind of talk about it now. The reason you want the Thunderheart set, at least a 2-piece, is because of that Mangle increasing your threat by 15%. As an avoidance tank, you're not getting hit a lot, which means you're not generating rage from being hit, which means you might run the risk of being rage starved. If that's the case, you're going to be relying more heavily on your Mangle. What I plan to do when this happens is just remove Maul, or at least not use Maul unless I'm like almost max rage, which hopefully won't happen, and just use the white damage that would normally hit when Maul's not up to generate extra rage so that I can use Mangle on cooldown and then lacerate and swipe. So that's why I tried really hard to make sure I have at least the 2-set bonus for the Thunderheart. So yeah, Thunderheart Wrist Guards, and I have the Thunderheart Pauldrons, but again, I've mentioned you could go with the Thunderheart Waist Guard. Okay. Last but not least is the Stanchion of Primal Instinct. There is no replacement for this. The next thing up is the Wild Fury Greatstaff because it has the dodge on it. But I mean, look at the agility, 75 agility. The next one is 52 and 49, and this has 54 dodge, which is still nice, but nothing compares to Stanchion of Primal Instinct. So you definitely want to get your hands on this staff. It's really good. But yeah, so with all that set up, all these pieces, I am avoidance capped. Now again, there are a lot of flexible stuff here. You have to choose what you get and why you get it. So like for this, as you can see, I have 2 red and a yellow, and that's really just to meet this this bonus right here. Sorry, yeah, the meta gem bonus. Also, it's nice that when you complete a set bonus, you get it. Not that big of a deal where you get it. So if you really need a yellow somewhere else, you could obviously just pop it in wherever. I tried to get as many set bonuses as I could, which is why I chose what I chose. But yeah, this is it. This is all you need to get. And if you look, I need to put the check marks. Okay, good. If you look, I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the pieces I need. I still need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces, which really isn't that much. If I already have 10, I only need 6 more. I'm looking forward to phase 5 where I can actually get my hands on these and test this out. But I keep pointing out, you don't want to wait until phase 5 to start getting these pieces. You really want to start collecting this stuff now, throw it in your bank. Shadow Moon Insignia, you're probably, if you're doing phase 3, try to get your hands on this. It's great anyway, so I would pick this up. But definitely keep an eye out for these pieces. Yeah, I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys are more excited about avoidance tanking, or at least as excited as I am, because I'm pretty pumped about it. I know we've got it a while, like a minimum 6 months, but you know, it's going to be soon. It's going to be here. If you guys have any other questions about my gear choices or anything like that, throw them in the comments too. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and as always, take care.